We've seen all 5 of their starters. Chien-Ming Wang had a good opening night. Mike Messina was okay in Game 2. Phil Hughes pitched very well in Game 3. But Ian Kennedy and Andy Pettitte, not so great in Games 4 and 5. Welcome back to Yankee Stadium, where today the Yankees will play the Tampa Bay Rays in the 3rd game of a 4-game set. Overall, Kenny, what do you think about the pitching?
Well, I thought, as you mentioned, Chien-Ming Wang was excellent in his first start. We're going to see him again this afternoon. Hopefully he can duplicate that. You mentioned that Andy Pettitte struggled somewhat yesterday, and that's true, but I'd give Andy a pass. I think because in spring training, he only had about 9 innings total, so I think he's still trying to find himself as a pitcher as we move into this 2008 season. He mentioned yesterday he struggled somewhat with his cutter, didn't have a curveball, didn't get one over at all during the course of the game. And I know that Ian Kennedy did struggle, and he didn't pitch very well, just 2 1/3 innings, but I like what he said after it was over. He can't wait to get back out there.
Well, Chien-Ming Wang gets the 2nd start, as Kenny said. When we come back, we'll have the lineups, we'll have the first pitch, and most of all, we'll have baseball on a blustery Sunday here at Yankee Stadium on Yes. This is brought to you in part by the 306 horsepower Infinity G, designed to go beyond machine. LoJack, the most successful theft recovery system on earth. Continental Airlines, the official airline of the Yankees. And by Dodge. You talk, we listen. It's a new day. Dodge. Grab life. Another big crowd here at Yankee Stadium. Looks like it's over 50, not quite a sellout. The wings of the upper deck still a little bit sparse. The Yankees have taken the field. Chien-Ming Wang getting ready for his 2nd start of the season, and he'll face this Rays starting lineup presented by Rico. Akinori Iwamura, the 2nd baseman, will lead off. Good numbers against the Yankees. Carl Crawford in left, Carlos Pena at first. DJ Upton, the center fielder, cleans up, batting 5th and DHing Cliff Floyd. Eric Hinski's in right field. He'll bat 6th. Batting 7th, playing 3rd base, Willie Ibar. Sean Riggins will catch it, bat 8th, and batting 9th, and playing shortstop is Jason Bartlett. Well, we are almost ready for baseball here at the stadium. Iwamura digs in. Chien-Ming Wang is ready. Let's do it. Baseball here on a Sunday on Yes. And the right-hander deals. We're underway with a strike.
Chien-Ming Wang, last year, 19-game winner for the 2nd consecutive year. He's won more games the last 2 years than any other pitcher.
Chopped slowly towards 2nd. Cano on the charge.
Let's check out our Jeep scouting report on Chien-Ming Wang. It's time for a stop. When you're supposed to be the ace of a staff and your team has lost a couple games in a row, one thing you want to do is make sure that your team scores first. No matter if you get no offense whatsoever, you shut the other team down. His career record is very impressive. 47 wins, 18 losses. And Sunday is no day of rest for Chien-Ming Wang. He pitched on 6 Sundays last year and was 5-1 on Sunday.
Pitch to Carl Crawford is fouled away. Crawford yesterday was 0 for 5. And that snapped a 7-game hitting streak against the Yankees. Second highest averager at Yankee Stadium amongst active players. David Ortiz is first at 320. Crawford's at 317. Count 1-1.
The first couple of pitches to these left-handed hitters, Flash, are in on the hands. I kind of like that on a cold day.
But I think also Chien-Ming Wang, some of these Rays lefty batters have had good numbers and they like the ball away. Chien-Ming Wang going inside.
Hey, get the best in HD free with IO-TV, because everything about HD is better with IO, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball. Joe Girardi's back on the bench. A couple of days ago, his temperature was 103 degrees. Deep drive, left center field, giving chase Melky Cabrera, and the wind took that in. And he was suspended for the past 2 games, but back in the lineup and tested immediately.
Early on in ball games, you're always paying attention. Yesterday, Kenny and we saw the ball was really flying out here. You see Melky Cabrera has to come in on this ball. The wind actually knocks it down. And the flag is blowing in, and we all know about the currents in the stadium, but until you actually get a fly ball and see how it reacts, you don't know what's going to happen. There you see the flag blowing straight in.
It's a windy day when you can see all 50 stars on the flag.
There's Carlos Pena. Grounded foul. Now you can listen to Yankees baseball in Spanish by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Toyota. A smart way to keep moving forward.
In spring training, there was a lot of talk with Chien-Ming Wang about, he's got to go to some secondary pitches. And, I'm not 100% behind that theory. I like what he's doing today, pitching in on the lefties so they don't just get a look at that outside corner. I mean, you got to change things up every year at this level, but I wouldn't go away from your strength, which is that sinker.
The 0-1. There's a strike.
That is Ted Barrett calling balls and strikes. And, if the umpire figures out that's where you're going to go, sometimes you might get a pitch, and I thought he might have gotten one there on Carlos Pena.
Yankees have been going in the 3 games against Pena. Andy Pettitte hit him twice yesterday. Swing and a miss. Posada will tag out. Pena, a 9-pitch first inning for Chien-Ming Wang as he retires the Rays in order. So the Rays go down 1-2-3. And the New York Yankees coming to bat. Cast is for overcast, although that's not a forecast. That's right now. It is overcast. And you really have to be bundled up against the elements if you're sitting in the stands today. Hardy souls, that's for sure. Well, the Rays went down in order. Let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup. It's going to face James Shields, and the lineup is presented by Rico. Johnny Damon in left field will lead off, batting second and playing shortstop, the captain, Derek Jeter. Bobby Abreu off to his best start ever in right field. He'll hit third. Batting fourth and playing third base, Alex Rodriguez. Hideki Matsui moves up to fifth. He's DH. Batting sixth and playing second base, Robinson Cano. Jorge Posada will catch and bat seventh. Wilson Betemit at first hits eighth. And Melky Cabrera off a 2-game suspension, bats ninth. He'll play center field. Jason Giambi, his groin is tweaked just a bit. He could pinch hit today, but they are listing him as day-to-day. That's why Betemit's playing first. And the pitch to Johnny Damon is a strike from Shields.
Numbers on Shields from last year, and he's a good pitcher. 12 and 8. Good ERA, 3.85. 215 innings he threw for the Rays last year.
Grounded to first. Slick fielding Pena. Backhands on the short hop. One away.
Here is Pena making the play on the backhand for him and comes up with it nicely. As we mentioned, not only is he an offensive force, he is very solid on the defensive end of the ball. He can really make some plays, dig balls out of the dirt, come up with a nice tough hop there, take the play by himself. Here's a Jeep scouting report. Look at that strikeout to walk ratio last year for Shields. 184 Ks, only 36 walks. Tanyan Sturts in 2002. He's the only Ray to throw more than 215 innings in a year. He threw 224. And James Shields, his first cousin, is Aaron Rowan, center fielder for the San Francisco Giants.
There's Derek Jeter. Lines that one into right center field. B.J. Upton got a great jump on the ball and takes away an extra base hit from his idol. That's why he wears number 2 on his back, and he just took away a 2-base hit.
B.J. Upton has moved around defensively, shortstop, second base, third base, but it looks like he has found a home in center field. Gets a nice jump on this ball, lays out, makes an outstanding play. A great athlete with good instincts, but he knows about his offensive ability. 2020 last year, makes a nice play in center field.
You got a young guy like that playing defense like that, and he bats fourth in your lineup. He might be there for the next 12, 15 years.
There's Bobby Abreu, 7 hits in 18 at-bats this year. Takes a pitch low. In stark contrast to last season, just wasn't right. Looked like he was finished. And then really picked it up toward the end and put up decent numbers. But his first 2 months, it was really abysmal.
Well, they were, and I never had an oblique problem in my career, but they say those are just things that never go away. Bobby struggled with that in spring training last year and just never seemed to get on track the first half of the season. Finished up strong.
They didn't have oblique muscles when I played. It's just been maybe the last 10 years or so. Was that in your side? Is that where it is?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
it's in your side.
All right. Yeah. Well, Abreu last year, he didn't get much spring training. And as Michael said, he struggled the first couple of months. But in the second half, he had the strongest second half as anybody in baseball. He drove in 60 runs after the All-Star break. And that's how he eventually got over the 100 RBI mark.
Swing and a miss. And Abreu down on strikes, tagged out by Riggins. So the Yankees go down in order thanks to some pretty slick defense from the Tampa Bay Rays. Johnny Damon's hot shot backhanded by Carlos Pena, and then Derek Jeter had an extra base hit taken away from B.J. Upton. We move to the second, no score. Jersey and Connecticut Lexus dealers. Yes, it's that cold here at the stadium.
I'll tell you what, you better watch those two guys, because if somebody starts to hog the blanket, there's going to be trouble.
B.J. Upton leads off against Chien-Ming Wang. And a swing and a miss. No score. Both teams go down in order in the first. Chien-Ming Wang had a much better ERA at home than he did on the road last year. He was 10-4 at home with a 2.75, and on the road 9-3, 4.91. Now, with some pitchers, you can explain, well, Yankee Stadium's so big, and obviously that helps them. But Chien-Ming Wang's a ground ball pitcher, as you see right there. Nice play by A-Rod. A 360 and a fire. Got him.
Well, both teams are flashing leather in the early going here. We've seen some nice plays by the Rays, and here Alex Rodriguez closes up the hole on the left side. Then he knows he's going to have to hurry with Upton running down the line. Here's the 360 move. Looks like something out of Dancing with the Stars. Nice move, turn, and throw. Nice dance steps here. You always need a partner, and there's Bailey on the other side of it for the out.
There's Cliff Floyd. John, could there be any legitimate reason why Wang would have an ERA that's 2 runs per game better at Yankee Stadium?
The only reason I could think, maybe just a comfort level. You know, I know there are pitchers who they enjoy the bullpen. They feel comfortable with their routine at home as opposed to on the road. But I mean, this Yankee Stadium grass is not any higher or any thicker than any of the other stadiums around the league, so it doesn't slow the ball down that much.
You know, bottom line, the ERAs might have been different, but the won loss totals were about the same. So the Yankees as a team got the job done on the road as well as here at Yankee Stadium when Chien-Ming Wang pitched.
And the count 2-1.
You think back to pitchers that you've caught in the past. I mean, Randy Johnson was a guy who loved pitching in Yankee Stadium. I don't know if the numbers played out like they do for Chien-Ming Wang, but he liked the comfort level of knowing, you know, where the bullpen was, how the mounds feel out there, the Yankee Stadium mound, all those things, and mentally he just felt better about himself here at Yankee Stadium.
Grounded to first. Betemeet, nice play. Flips to Wang. 2 outs.
Well, with Jason Giambi banged up with the groin problem, Wilson Betemeet's going to get the start at first base. Shelley Duncan serving his suspension. And the first test he passes goes to his left. Nice little play. We've seen him play all around the infield. Got some work with Tino Martinez in spring training and looks good on his first chance here today.
He had played basically short and third and a little bit of second, and first base was the last infield position he's trying to conquer here.
Here's Eric Hinsky. Count 1-0. Hinsky's playing right field today.
Let's see if Chien-Ming Wang tries to change it up with Hinsky. Hinsky has owned Chien-Ming Wang in his career. And because he's a low ball hitter, he likes the ball down in the zone, kind of as a sweeping swing. We'll see if Chien-Ming Wang goes with some 4-seamers.
Should a pitcher change up against his strength just because the hitter's strength is the same?
Well, it's, you know, it's one of those debates you can go up and down all day about. But, you know, with Chien-Ming Wang, what we've seen already in an inning and 2/3, he's pitching differently. He's coming in on the left-handed hitters. That was a 4-seamer up at the hands of Eric Hinsky. And I think what he's trying to establish the first time through the lineup, I'm not going to pitch you the same way I pitched in the past. I might not go to more off-speed pitches, but I'm going to change my patterns up. You see, this is going to be another fastball inside.
1-1. Count 2-1.
And it's really the ultimate for a pitcher catcher. If the first time through the lineup you can pitch totally different than you would want to pitch a guy when there's a runner in scoring position. Because then you put the doubt on, you know, Chien-Ming Wang has always pitched me down and away with sinkers. Now he's changed it up. What's he going to do in the 6th inning when the ball game might be on the line?
Two-1 upstairs, and the count 3-1.
And one of the dangers, though, of pitching inside, and Flash, I think you're aware of this, Every once in a while, one of those pitches will drift, and they drift towards the middle of the plate as opposed to when you pitch outside, they drift off the plate for a ball. So Wong, if he has good enough control today and can continue to pitch inside, he can be effective. Because what you do is you really force the hitters to be quick with the bat on the inner pitches.
And he walks Hinske.
You know, it's just one of those situations that if you make a mistake going away from your best pitch, then you're going to be kicking yourself. Why did I do that? But if it works out, you know what? You've opened yourself up to have a longer ball game.
There's Willie Ibar. Now, it's cold out. I'm not sure it's that cold. He is really bundled up against the weather. I think it's about 41 degrees, we said.
Yeah, it's not Green Bay cold.
No. It's not like minus 20 wind chill. But it is. It's chilly.
Flash, do you remember the coldest game you ever played in?
Oh, boy. One of my might have been my opening game in the old, what was it, stadium in Cleveland, right on the
Municipal Stadium.
Municipal Stadium. Boy, it got cold there. The wind whipping.
Yeah, that place held the cold very well. Yeah.
Cleveland in April, that was no fun.
I think also I think the second year when you were with Tampa Bay, the temperature in the dome got down to 71. That was
a little chilly. Yeah, I wore sleeves that day.
Wasn't nothing tropical about Tropicana that day.
Whew. Nasty stuff.
Chien-Ming Wang paying attention to Eric Hinske. He's one of those guys. He's bigger. He's a thick guy, but he runs pretty well, and he kind of lulls you to sleep over there if you don't pay attention. And really, Yankee coaches, bench coach Robbie Thompson, Dave Island, really putting an emphasis on the running game this year. We've seen a lot of Yankee pitchers paying attention to the runners at first base.
Count 2-0.
Well, this is Wong's first experience pitching out of the stretch in this game, and sometimes when the pitcher comes to the stretch for the first time, has to get used to throwing the ball that way, and all of a sudden you struggle with your control somewhat. I think in between innings, when he's warming up to begin another inning, you should always throw a couple of pitches from the stretch. Greg Maddux does it all the time.
Now you got to look at Joe Girardi. He spoke before the game, and he said that the last 2 days he just felt worthless, and they kept telling him he had to go home because he was so ill, but he refused to do it. He said he wanted to take part in some way and be in the manager's office. He's still coughing, doesn't sound very good, but his temperature is closer to normal. The Joe Girardi show, which was supposed to debut after the postgame today, was postponed because it just didn't feel well enough. But the debut will be tomorrow. That will be next Sunday at 7:30 after the final Red Sox game, or before the final Red Sox game. That game is at night. Runner goes, grounded foul.
Yeah, I talked to Joe before the game today. He said his fever had broken. The fever's down, but you could tell he was still somewhat weak, and he was still coughing, and nobody was really near him. He was off the side of his office.
I'm tipping my hat to you. I didn't want to go near the guy and get what he got.
I was just peeking in the doorway of his office as I spoke to him.
He said he has never in his life felt as poorly as he did the last 2 days. He said he could not believe how bad he felt.
And plus, Yogi Berra was with me, so I figured nothing could happen to me when I was with Yogi.
That's not a bad thought.
Yeah.
2-2. Now, he said his oldest daughter, Serena, she has 104 fever today. And his youngest daughter, Lena, is starting to get a cough. He said you just don't want to be around people. You don't want to get your family sick. You don't want to get the players sick and the coaches. Didn't mention the media, but he said, you definitely don't want to get those people sick. That's why I hid in the office for 2 days. Runner goes, 3-2, swung on and missed. He got him. So Ibar down swinging. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. We go to the bottom of the second. Alex Rodriguez will lead off. week received his Most Valuable Player award before a game here at the stadium, and there's a lot of reasons to smile. 3 times the MVP in 03 with the Rangers, 47 home runs, and 05 with the Yankees, 48 home runs and 130. But how do you top that? Well, you do what you did last year, 54 home runs, 156 ribbies, and he scored 143 as well. 3 MVPs for A-Rod. And he leads off here in the bottom of the second. Grounded to short. They had him play beautifully in the hole. And Bartlett throws over to Diamond to get the first out.
Well, the scouting reports usually tell the fielders where to play, or the coaches remind them where to play. And Bartlett was pulled way over in the hole. That ball was hit well, but he only had to go 1 or 2 steps to his right and then came up with it. When a ball was hit, I thought it was a base hit.
That'll bring up Matsui. He's been batting 8th, moved up to the number 5 spot where Jason Giambi had been residing. And Joe Girardi said that Matsui's been swinging the bat well, so he was the choice to go up to number 5 to protect A-Rod. And Joe Girardi made the right choice. Base hit to center field. First hit for the Yankees.
Joe Girardi likes the way Hideki Matsui's been swinging the bat. He gets rewarded. Batting in the 5th spot, he gets a fastball up and just stays right on it up the middle. You always pay attention to Hideki coming out of the box to see how that knee has responded and how he's running. But really, the Rays pitchers the last 3 games have forced the issue for the Yankee batters. They have to be aggressive early in the count. They're throwing so many first pitch strikes that the Yankees have to react to that.
Matsui now 3 for 8 in this series.
Here's Cano, who's really looking to break out. We mentioned yesterday he had such a great spring training. With 19 RBIs, but he's at 105. 2 hits and 19 at bats.
Hasn't drawn a walk yet, but he's not the type of hitter who's going to draw many anyway. But you can see his batting average comprises his on-base percentage.
What time does a hitter start to get nervous, Kenny? About now, 20 at bats when you're hitting 100?
No, 100 at bats. If you're still at 100 with 100 at bats,
and you got a long climb.
That's the way I looked at I would break my season down into 100 bat increments. You know, usually 500 at bats is a full season. I've been there about 100 at bats with about 10, 12 hits. It's not fun.
John, when did you start to get nervous?
I always thought, the first month, I just wanted to get through April with respectability. And, if you're somewhere around 250 or above, I felt like that was a bonus for me, because I always felt like I was a better second half offensive player than I was a first half. I remember coming into Yankee Stadium when I was with the Tigers in mid-May, hitting about 170. You feel like the career's over. You're a day or 2 away from being released.
And you had the family and friends in the stands.
And they let you know about it too. They're New Yorkers. They didn't sugarcoat it. So
when your family starts booing, you know you're struggling.
And then as it actually turned out, that was the best second half I had ever had in baseball. So worked out at the end.
High fly ball, right field. Upton calls off Hemsky. 2 outs.
One thing you look for is Cano tried to call time before the pitch was on its way. He didn't get it from home plate umpire Ted Barrett, then had to swing the bat. So I don't know if that threw him off or whatever, but one thing you look for hitters coming out of slumps is how they make their routes. Now, that was a lazy fly ball. Maybe he wasn't ready. See, he tried to call time. But I go back to Derek Jeter's out. He hasn't been swinging the bat well either, just over 200. But he hit one on the nose. And sometimes for a hitter, even by making it out, hitting the ball hard, it gives you a little more confidence that things are starting to come in your direction. Posada yesterday got a couple of hits. And one thing I liked about him, in regard to his yesterday getting a couple of hits, he got one from each side of the plate, and both of them were hit well.
And he got back behind home plate, you know, his comfort level. And you said Kenny had the 2 hits, and I was really paying attention today to see if he'd be in the lineup on a colder day, so that arm must be feeling pretty good.
Given to center field. Upton puts it away for the final out of the second. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. 2 in the books. There's no score here at Yankee Stadium. To Verizon Fios, TV, internet, phone. Jason Hamill, 3-5 last year. He'll go for the Rays against Mike Messina, who pitched well his first time out. The coverage will begin at 6 with the batting practice show. 6:30 is the pregame show, and 7:07 first pitch here at the stadium. And then the Yankees hit the road and go to Kansas City. A road trip: Kansas City, Boston, and Tampa Bay. Here's Sean Riggins leading off against Chien-Ming Wang. And a strike.
It's like Riggins is going to get a lot of playing time. You mentioned Deanna Navarro in a freak accident, injured in the opening game of the series, had to go on the disabled list when he cut his throwing hand in the dugout.
Popped up.
And Riggins was a pretty good hitter in the minor leagues. His minor league numbers aren't bad. They hit .292 in the minors and 467 games. And was an International League All-Star last year. But we're going to find out what he has at the big league level now.
That's a nice story. He was actually the backup catcher on his high school team. He wasn't even a starter. Went to college, was a bullpen catcher, and the coach basically said, "You're never going to play here." Went to a community college, and the next thing you know, he filled out, a late bloomer, gets drafted late, and here he is in the big leagues hitting .375.
Now on that pop-up, Posada quickly ran to the screen and fired his mask back toward home plate. Now it didn't come close to Riggins, but it was right over home plate. Now we've seen people hit batters when they throw that mask. So my question now is to John Flaherty. If there's a guy up that you didn't like, did you ever just inadvertently fire it right at the guy?
Never.
Never.
Never. But he wasn't firing it
no,
at
Riggins. I
Riggins.
know he wasn't, but it gives a catcher an opportunity to take a shot at somebody.
You see how Michael thinks, right?
Good slider right there from Chien-Ming Wang.
Number 8.
You know, as a catcher, you're taught to get rid of that mask as quick as possible. Good breakdown and away right there, gets Riggins fishing. But you're taught to get rid of that mask as quick as possible so that when a pop-up goes up, you don't trip over the mask. And, you know, Georgie has a habit of really firing it. I mean, even in spring training, doing the drills, he over-exaggerates it. It's his own particular style.
Did you ever smoke anybody when you threw it?
No, because I never threw it. I was more take it off and lay it down.
But did you ever, like, trip over it then if the ball backed up?
No, because you're taught when it gets to the top of his flight,
okay,
and you have an idea where it's going to come down, then you get rid of the mask.
Okay.
And that particular pop-up, it was so deep that Georgie knew he wasn't going to stand there or he could trip over the mask. We'll take a look at his style right here. See, he grabs the mask right away, and he knows this one is a deep foul ball, so he can just get rid of it. He's not going to trip over it because he's got to hustle up to the stands and try and see if he has a play. The tough ones, straight up in the air, right at home plate. Got to make sure you get rid of that mask, give yourself some distance.
So you hold on to it for a while. And then
Here's another question, John. I've always wondered about pop-ups behind the plate. You ready? Now, this is legitimate. Every Little League field you ever play on, they always have that fence overhang. And even high school fields. How did you learn? I mean, catching pop-ups cannot be easy behind the plate. How do you learn? How do you? I mean, I know there are machines that do, but off the bat is the best way to learn.
I never learned because that was the toughest play I had was the pop-up.
Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, said James Hoy. Fourth strikeout for Wong.
2 of the strikeouts this inning have been on the slider. He's shown a good slider today, changing up the pitching approach, but also going into some secondary pitches on the check swing. Gets the call. Getting back to the pop-up, it was one of the toughest plays that I had because you don't get a lot of practice at it. It doesn't happen very often, and then you come in these major league stadiums, the wind swirling. I dropped the pop-up at Wrigley Field, right at home plate. David Wells was pitching.
Iwamura grounds to Betemit, and that'll do it. Wells was probably thrilled with you at that point. So the Rays go down in order 1, 2, 3, and we go to the bottom of the third inning. There's no score here at Yankee Stadium.
for the people who know them best with the new series Yesterdays. On the series premiere, Jabba Chamberlain takes the stage with tales from his father, his high school coach, his prom date, and more. Michael Caine, who else, hosts Yesterdays, premiering Friday night at 11 after the Yankees-Red Sox postgame, only on Yes.
Wilson Betemit leads off against James Shields. And there's a strike.
I went out and bought a box of tissues yesterday for my Yesterdays, so I can sit down and watch.
Now, will you be in the studio that Friday Red Sox game?
I will.
So you and Lorenz could sit there and weep after the game. I got him. Betemit takes first.
Looked like he just got grazed with this one. Yep. Just off the, just above the knee on the thigh, but Betemit's going to be on, and leadoff man is on for the Yankees for the first time in this ball game. And when you're struggling as a team, you'll take it anywhere you can get it.
Certainly will. And the way Chien-Ming Wang is throwing today, we'll see how Joe Girardi plays this. You know, we've seen a little National League style with Bunting, Johnny Damon, Derek Jeter.
You got Ibar in on the grass at third.
Pitch to Melky, fouled away. Melky just served a 2-game suspension for his part in the altercation in spring training. Bobby Meacham, the third base coach, going through the signs. Melky had 4 sack bunts against Tampa last year. Popped up behind the plate and out of play. Now the Rays like what they see of James Shields, and they're also sending messages by doing things like this. They signed him before spring training to a 4-year, $11.25 million contract. It could escalate to $38 million over 7 years, and with performance bonuses, $44 million. So they're trying to keep their own. They signed Carlos Pena when he became a free agent. Carl Crawford was signed to a contract early on.
Trying to lock up a young rotation, at least part of it, with a lengthy deal. I mean, as we mentioned yesterday, none of their starters, when you throw Scott Kazmir in there, are over 30 years old. And Shields, you can see what he did last year. There was some definite improvement. ERA dropped by a whole run. You can see the batting average against went down by 40 points, which leads me to believe he began to get more of his pitches over the plate. And he's got them all. He also has that unusual set position when he, a la Mike Messina or Ian Kennedy, he's got the little funky move there.
Yeah, and Shields, his best pitch is a changeup, which Melky Cabrera just fouled off right there. I mean, he's not an overpowering pitcher, 88, 90 miles an hour maybe, but hits the spots with his fastball, and he's got an overpowering changeup.
Yeah, if there was one problem he had last year, he gave up the home run. And we mentioned the strike to ball ratio. He strike out to walk ratio. He gets the ball over the plate, but you can't always throw it where you want. And when you're not throwing 95 or 94 miles an hour, when you make mistakes, it has a tendency to be hit hard.
Did a lot better against other teams than he did against the Yankees, though.
Yeah, he had an outing against the Yankees here on July 22nd, in which he lasted just 3 1/3 innings, was charged with 10 earned runs. The Yankees got 10 hits off him in 3 1/3 innings.
And the Yankees won that game 21-4. Good at bat from Melky Cabrera. Lines that one into left center field. Going to third is Betemit. The throw is in plenty of time. What a throw by B.J. Upton. And also Wilson Betemit did something that they say you don't do.
Wow.
Don't make the first or third out at third base.
Well, Flash, they talk about Upton as a 5-tool player. Here's one of his tools.
Yeah, you see he gets a good jump on this ball going to his right. And once Wilson Betemit makes that turn, B.J. Upton just lets it go on a line. That is a hose right there. Take a look at Wilson. He sees this ball is going to hit some grass, and he comes around second and decides to hit another gear. Unfortunately, B.J. Upton has the answer for that.
Wow.
You want your base runners to be aggressive, but you also want them to be smart.
Yeah, Upton had 11 assists last year in center field. And remember, he started the year as a second baseman. Look at this. Betemit wasn't even in the picture when the ball was at third base.
Pitcher has to love that. Upton's really helped Shields so far today. A great play on Jeter's line drive to right center and then throwing out the runner at third.
And the Rays are excited to see what he does. I mean, to play the whole year in center field, you don't have to worry about what position I'm playing, and you expect the offensive numbers to get better because he's just going to be more comfortable this year.
Brother Justin plays for the Diamondbacks. The youngest player in the big leagues at 20. Second youngest is Phil Hughes.
His brother's supposed to be a five-tool player as well. He plays right field for the Diamondbacks.
BJ is best buddies with the Mets third baseman David Wright.
They played on the same high school team
can
for a
you
while.
imagine that high school team?
Upton played short and Wright played third. That was a nice left side of the infield. When you have two #1 draft picks on your high school team, the coach never wanted them to graduate.
When Vetemite gets thrown out at third, and the old baseball bromide, you can't make the first out or the third out at third, does a manager or coach address it immediately, or does he know he made a mistake?
Well, I'm sure Wilson knows he made a mistake, but that's all, we're going to pay attention to Joe Girardi and his managing style. Is he going to take care of it right on the bench? Is he going to wait an inning? It's all up to Joe Girardi. But, that play is in front of you when you're a base runner rounding second base. You see Upton, you see when he got to the ball, and you make your own decision. Third base coach Bobby Meacham doesn't need to help you.
Ground ball up the middle. Bartlett. 2 outs as Melky moves to third.
It's interesting you mentioned it, Michael, because yesterday when Johnny Gomes got thrown out, what he thought was a home run, thrown out going to second, they asked Joe Madden, did you say anything to him? He says, no, I didn't have to say anything to him. He knew he screwed up.
And Vetemite has not been spoken to by Girardi or a coach yet. He went to that seat on the bench and no one has approached him. Joe Torre used to tell a great story about when Jeter was young. He made a mistake trying to steal third with nobody out, and he got thrown out. It was against the White Sox, and Torre was steaming but wasn't going to say anything to him. He said, but Jeter sat down right next to him, and then Torre just looked at him and said, get out of my sight. So Jeter had known that he made a mistake.
I wish I had managers that nice.
Would have been stronger than get out of my sight?
No. Earl Weaver would. If you made a mistake defensively, he would wait for you when you came off the field at the top step. And he'd embarrass you in front of the rest of the team.
Sparky Anderson had a way about him, the same thing. You learn your lesson quick, that's for sure.
Earl embarrassed Paul Blair, who won 8 Gold Gloves one day in Minnesota. A ball went over Blair's head and 2 runs scored, and Earl started screaming at him when he came. And he told me he never wanted to see a ball go over his head for the rest of his career while he was with Baltimore. So I'm playing right field, and I look out the next inning. I can't see Blair. He's standing on the warning track. And he wouldn't come in. And at the end of the inning, when he came back in, he wouldn't move. They tried to wave towels to get him to come in. Paul Blair, who played for the Yankees for a while, probably was the best fielding center fielder in the American League in those days. When he came in at the end of the inning after we played that V defense in the outfield, Earl said, okay, you can play where you want to play. And he came back to playing right behind second base like he always did.
Well, our former colleague Jim Cott used to tell his outfielders, you play in. If it goes anything over your head, it's my fault.
It's true.
He said if it drops in front of you, it's your fault.
There's all kinds of stories about outfielders and balls going over their head and being yelled at.
Nasty pitch there by Shields.
I think Leon Wagner was playing right field one day. Gaylord Perry was on the mound, and there was a long drive to the gap in right center. And he almost caught it as we see Jeter swing and miss on a changeup here. And when he came back into the dugout, Gaylord Perry said, why didn't you catch that ball? And he looked at Gaylord and said, what's the ball doing 390 feet away from home plate anyway?
And with Vaseline on it, so it's harder to catch.
That's a good point.
Count 3-2 on Jeter. We're in the bottom of the third inning here on a chilly Sunday in New York City. no score. Melky Cabrera's at third with 2 outs.
Yeah, meanwhile, this is situations where the Yankees have kind of struggled lately. Runners in scoring position, it just hasn't been happening.
5 for 33 so far this year with runners in scoring position. Now 5 for 34 after Damon's ground out. And against the Blue Jays, and they won 2 out of the 3 games, they had 1 hit and 14 at-bats with runners in scoring position. That's a little bit more understandable when you see the 3 pitchers that the Blue Jays ran out there. But that's not going to get it done, those numbers right there. Eighth pitch of the at-bat, upcoming. And the 3-2. Grounded softly to third. Ibar. That'll do it. So Shields works out of trouble. And his defense helps him out with a runner on first base. Melky Cabrera laces a base hit to left center. Wilson Betemit tries to go to third. B.J. Upton says, I don't think so. We go to the fourth. The Yankees' Ron Blomberg became the first DH in Major League Baseball history. Who was the opposing pitcher? Now, I got to tell you a quick story about that. It shows you how teachers can make a difference in children's lives. I was in 6th grade, and I was very depressed because I couldn't see Yankee opening day. And I knew that that was going to be a historic moment, seeing the first DH. And my teacher, name was Ken Wilkoff, go through the whole day of school, and it's about 2 o'clock. And he has somebody from the audio-visual department of the school roll a TV in, plug it in, put the game on Channel 11 so I could see. Ron Blomberg ended up walking, so I could see history. And he said, okay, you happy? And then rolled it out.
So you were teacher's pet back then, too?
No. No, he knew I loved baseball, and he knew that I wanted to be the Yankee announcer.
What class was this? Do you remember?
Oh, it was just, 5th, 6th grade. It's all one class.
That's impressive that you could hold up school like that.
Never forget that, though.
No.
You never forget teachers like that. Crawford lines one foul. And Ron Blomberg was really an unbelievable left-handed hitter. Wasn't a great fielder and didn't hit lefties very well, but boy, could he hit righties. And there he is with Bobby Mercer, prior to the new Yankees. They just never were able to find him a position. Tried to play him at first. He just wasn't a great defender, but he was an outstanding hitter against right-handed pitchers.
Looked like he had the perfect swing for Yankee Stadium right there. Sit and drive a little bit.
Bobby Mercer had a perfect swing for Yankee Stadium, too.
And the 2-2. Line drive right at Cano, and there's one away. Speaking of Bobby, we know Bobby is watching the game at home. How you doing, Bob? Hope you're feeling better.
And Bobby was swinging in those days. I think it was 296 feet down the right field line. Bobby used to get jammed and still hit him out of here.
Bobby was probably the most unhappy person during the renovation at Yankee Stadium when he had to play at Shea.
Yeah.
Oh, that did not make him very pleased. Here's Carlos Pena. Pitch outside, 1-0.
Yeah, the first time I played against Bobby was here at the stadium, and it was a Mayor's Trophy. Remember the Mayor's Trophy game?
Sure.
And that was, of course, those have gone by the wayside with Interleague. And I remember hitting a triple, and Bobby was the one to chase. Now, it's funny, after all, he can't remember that. But I remember it like it was yesterday because his number was getting real small out in left center field, chasing that ball.
People don't. Young fans don't remember the Mayor's Trophy game. That was a big thing every year, and I mean, you used to get sellout crowds for an exhibition game in the middle of the season between the Yankees and the Mets. You know, we're saying Bobby's watching the game, but within one inning, we have mentioned Gaylord Perry and Shea Stadium. He might have shut it off.
If we mention Candlestick Park, then it's done.
He just shut it off.
Oh my goodness. Gaylord Perry, he didn't like Gaylord.
No. Bobby was so obsessed with Gaylord Perry loading up the baseball that one time the Indians came to town and Bobby sent to the visitors clubhouse a vat of grease with a note, here, if you can't get it in New York, here it is.
To tell everybody hit the dry side of the ball.
One time Gaylord Perry came to Yankee Stadium, and I remember I was a kid watching the game, and it was a Monday night baseball game, which was a big deal back then on ABC. And they must have like 100 cameras trained on him to try to catch him, and nobody could catch him. 3-2. Strike three. Pena down looking. Pena, who has just tattooed the Yankees the last year or so. They've taken care of him so far in this series.
Chien-Ming Wang has shown a good slider right here. It's a changeup on a 3-2 count. Located perfectly at the bottom of the zone. Ted Barrett liked it. But Chien-Ming Wang today has shown a good slider, a good changeup, and a good fastball in on the lefties. Yeah,
from Pena's standpoint, you get a pitcher to 3-2. The changeup is one of the last things that crosses your mind, and that was an excellent one.
Here's B.J. Upton.
There's our scatter report on B.J. Upton. 20/20 vision. He is the only Ray ever to have 20 home runs and 20 steals in 1 year. And hit 5 home runs against the Yankees last year and also hit .339 with runners in scoring position. And let's hope this is just a visit to see how you're feeling and nothing else.
Wong keeps backing away from Girardi. Let's see if we see anything from the last pitch he threw. I think his spike just caught.
Yeah, I think he slipped a little bit coming off the rubber and seeing him shake his leg out right there.
Of course, Wong at this time last year was not pitching. He was getting over a hamstring injury, and I really believe that cost him 20 victories last year.
We missed 3 weeks and ended up with 19 wins. Well, last year, everybody came out of spring training with a hamstring injury. I think Flaherty did too in the booth.
John, what is it?
I never had hamstring problems, actually. I'm take a little offense to that. I never ran quick enough to pull a hamstring.
Same with me. Nice fighting back on the count here. He fell behind 2-0, and then he deals a breaking ball for the even the count at 2-2. Everything seems to be working right now for Chien-Ming Wang. He's got a nice rhythm going with all of his pitches.
And the 2-2. Upton checks his swing.
You're 100% right, Kenny. You know, talking to Mike Mussina through the years, he said if you get 35 starts, maybe 10 of them you have everything working. And into the 4th inning right here, Chien-Ming Wang has it all going on.
And he walks Upton.
But he had confidence enough in his slider to throw a 3-2. He threw a 3-2 change up to Pena. It's not. And if you're a Rays hitter now, you're saying, well, it's not an automatic fastball if we get the 3-2. And one thing about Wang, very rarely does he get the 3-2 because he throws enough strikes early in the count that you put the ball in play. And usually, if it's a sinker, he's going to get a ground ball.
There's Cliff Floyd.
2 outs. You got to think Upton's probably thinking about stealing a base right here. When you have a pitcher like Wang on top of his ball game, you got to try and manufacture a run if you're the Rays. 20 stolen bases last year. The Devil Rays 3rd in the league last year, or the Rays were Devil Rays last year, now Rays this year. A decent lead.
Robinson Cano is playing short right field for Cliff Floyd right now. See how the Yankees set up defensively. You mentioned that Cliff Floyd was signed by the Rays to bring a veteran presence to the team. Nobody on the Rays current team has been in the major leagues as long as Cliff Floyd. 14 years. Mentioned the other day, I was broadcasting in Montreal when he first started, and he's been with the Expos, the Marlins, the Red Sox, the Mets, the Cubs, and now the Rays.
Pitch out. Pitch out always comes from the bench, John.
Well, on this particular club, it does.
Yeah,
I mean,
some other clubs you could do it yourself.
I've known catchers who had the flexibility to call it on their own if they wanted to. But, you know, this is a situation right here. I always found myself caught in between being a catcher. You have 2 outs. You know, pay attention to the runner, but really your focus should be on Cliff Floyd right now.
Ground ball to short right field. Cano. And that'll do it as Floyd is gunned down for the final out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th. There's no score at the stadium. New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz. Who's the opposing pitcher against Bloomberg when he was a DH? Well, the team was the Boston Red Sox, and the pitcher was Luis Tiant, and it was a walk. Thanks, Mr. Wilcoff, for letting me get one of the answers right this year. Bottom of the 4th inning, and Bobby Abreu takes a pitch low.
Tiante.
1-1.
You know, one thing that is kind of overlooked with Abreu, he's been a very durable player. The last 10 seasons, he's averaged over 150 games a year. So, you know, if you're looking for a player to sign to a long-term deal or, you know, decent deal, you look for somebody who's going to give you a return on it and be able to play. You know, only one player in the last 10 years has played more games than Bobby Abreu, and that's Andrew Jones.
And Abreu goes down on strike. Second time he struck out against Shields.
Shields has that changeup he can throw for a strike, and he has this one, the put-away change. Well, good finish down and away. Very rarely you see Bobby Abreu wave at a pitch like this. That'll tell you the arm action is good and the finish. Tough pitch.
Usually on days like this, they don't take batting practice outdoors, and they did. The Devil Rays took BP today, the Rays. How many times do you think people around the league are going to say Devil Rays this year? For those that don't know, they removed that word from their title.
At least once.
At least once. And they are now just the Rays. New logo, new uniform.
I kind of like these new uniforms.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah, they're nice. Well, I had heard something, their front office in Tampa, if anybody in the front office said Devil Rays, they were fined.
That's how they're going to fund their new stadium.
One-two. Driven out to right center field. Giving chases up that he can't get there. It splits the outfielders and it goes to the wall. Alex Rodriguez at second with his second double of the year.
A-Rod's had a decent series. It's just that he hasn't had many runners to drive in. He is now 4 for 9 against the Rays in this series with a couple of doubles. As this ball splits the gap up near the 385 side, and well, that was a nice pitch. Wasn't that bad a pitch? It was down, went down and get it, and even Upton can't catch up with this one. He was in the retreat mode. Here's the location. Good slider down. Man, it might have ended up lower than about knee high. And A-Rod goes down and just rips it to the gap in right center.
I missed a double there. He has 3 now this year. His first hit was a double. First inning of opening night. Matsui, who singled to center in the second, takes a changeup low, 1-0.
One thing you've seen from Shields so far in this ball game, and when he gets in trouble or he needs a big pitch, he always goes to that changeup. Yankee hitter sitting in the dugout paying attention to that second time around. He might be sitting on it a little bit more.
Another thing you saw with Matsui's batting average, 294. This is a time of year where a couple of hits are really going to jump your average up, and that's what I was talking about. I wasn't really concerned so much with the Yankee batting averages. Matsui started the day at 250 with 1 hit, 1 for 1. He's up to 294. Another hit here, he goes over 300, so it jumps over 50 points in 2 at bats.
1-1. Count 2-1. Matsui, when he first got to the Yankees, a very good clutch hitter, but last year with runners in scoring position, he hit just .247.
This would be a count right here for a veteran hitter like Matsui, maybe to sit on that changeup. First base open. Shields, it's his best pitch. Even if he walks Matsui, he's got a chance for a double play with Robinson Cano.
Driven deep to right field. Going back, Hinsky on the track at the wall. See ya! A two-run home run for Hideki Matsui, and the Yankees lead 2-0.
You're veteran hitters and you're sitting on the bench and you're watching pitchers, you're watching their patterns. It's a 2-0 changeup. Middle of the plate, it's up. Hideki Matsui was ready for it. At short right field porch, he gets it out of here and gives the Yankees a 2-0 lead with their ace Chien-Ming Wang looking like he's locked in. Hideki Matsui puts the Yankees on the board.
Yeah, that was not the best changeup that Shields has thrown all day. That was probably the worst one. And Matsui, you don't get to be a good hitter by sitting around just not paying attention. Yeah, there it is. Well, middle. And Shields, as I mentioned, he gave up 28 homers last year. That was third in the league.
Great call, Flash.
You know, you pick up on patterns, and you know that's one of the things that every time he's gotten behind in the count, he's thrown a changeup. It's his go-to pitch, and you can say the same thing about Chien-Ming Wang last year. His go-to pitch was a two-seamer. Today we don't see that. He's going to sliders. He's going to changeups, more four-seamers. The Rays are going to have a tougher time picking up a pattern.
You know, A-Rod hit a pitch that was not a bad pitch, and when you're a pitcher out there, it's like, man, how did he hit that? Well, you know how Matsui hit that one. It wasn't as good a pitch.
Second home run for Matsui this year. The other one was off the screen down the right field line, low on the screen. This one was a bit more impressive. Here's Cano, 0 for 1 today, 2 for 20 on the season.
I wonder if that's that one swing that makes these Yankees relax a little bit offensively. You know, you've been struggling. You haven't been getting that big hit with runners in scoring position. Hideki Matsui comes through with a 2-run home run. We'll see if the rest of the lineup just relaxes a little bit and has those quality at-bats that we're used to seeing.
Matsui did not hit his second home run of last year until May 4th, although he did miss from April 8th through the 22nd with an injury. So well ahead of his pace. The 1-2 popped up behind the plate and out of play.
And talking to manager Joe Girardi before the game, I told him this couple of wins will make you feel better, and he just smiled.
He admitted that he felt even sicker because the team lost the 2 games where he was in his office. He said it would have been a little bit more bearable if they'd been able to win. The 1-2. 2-2.
No matter what the outcome of this at bat, Robinson Cano is having a very credible at bat here. He's fouled off some tough pitches. He's run the count from 0-2 to 2-2. This is the 10th pitch of the at bat. So even if he makes an out, he's made Shields work to get this one out. And he's having a much better at bats than he's had lately.
Ripped to right field, and Hinsky can't make the play. He says he caught the ball, but the umpire, James Hoy, said no. So a single for Cano.
And he earned this hit. And I give James Hoy a lot of credit because he ran out there and he was in position to see that this ball was trapped. So Cano earned a base hit with an 11-pitch at bat. And the ball, as we can see on the replay, definitely the ball was trapped by Inski, who tried to sell it as a catch. But James Hoy was out there in short right field and got a very good look at that play.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. So Jim Hickey has a talk with James Shields. He was coasting along till A-Rod's double, then a 2-run home run by Matsui, and then a single by Cano.
His second time through the order as well.
But Kenny, it's a good point. That's really what we've seen the last couple of days. A lot of first pitch swinging from the Yankees, popping balls up. Haven't seen a lot of those quality at bats going deep into the counts.
Posada with a high fly ball to right field. Pinsky back. He's on the track. He'll make the play in front of the wall for the second out. Gave it a ride, but not far enough.
It's amazing how much better you feel about yourself offensively when you get a 2-run lead. A big home run from Hideki Matsui, followed up by Robinson Cano, and then a good swing. Jorge Posada, that little grimace, he knows he just missed it. Didn't get all of it. Eric Hinsky on the wall, or on the track, makes a play. But it's incredible how one swing of the bat, everybody else just kind of seems to relax. The at-bats get better. Not as much tension.
This is an interesting part of the lineup for manager Joe Girardi. He's got 3 switch hitters at the bottom of the lineup, which means when you throw Cano and Matsui in front of them, you've got 5 consecutive left-handed hitters for James Shields to negotiate. Now, Joe Madden wants to bring in a left-hander after Matsui and Cano. You got 3 right-handed hitters without making a move for Joe Girardi. So this is the way that switch hitters can help out lineups.
Strike to Betamit. Yankees up 2-0. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning at a chilly Yankee Stadium. Lights have been on from the very first pitch. The sun has tried unsuccessfully to poke its head through the clouds. I think it's given up for the day. Kind of a gray, overcast, ugly afternoon.
Another thing that's happening to Shields here that I can see this, he's fallen behind a little bit more on counts. And we had mentioned, or Flash had mentioned, that he doesn't have the power fastball to just say, well, here it is, pop it up, you know, or hit a fly ball to somebody. He can't really rely on that 95 mile an hour that you just can't catch up to.
This will be a 65th pitch, and it's low.
Yeah, Edwin Jackson yesterday had that power fastball, and he got away with some at-bats early in that ball game and then really found his rhythm to the middle. So Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, Dave Martinez, the bench coach.
Jackson also had a good slider yesterday, too.
Count now full at 3-2. That's going to release Cano at first base.
I'm not so sure. That was down by Laredo. That was really near south of the border.
Tap slowly back to Shields, and that'll do it. But not before the Yankees finally get on the board. 2 runs on 3 hits. The big blow. A 2-run home run by Hideki Matsui, his second of the year. We go to the 5th. 2-0 Yanks. Yankees lead on Matsui's 2-run home run. Chien-Ming Wang has not allowed a hit over the first 4, and he will deal with Eric Hinske. Hinske walked in the second, and Wang continues to work the left-handers inside, and there's a strike. Count 0-2.
Said it, Michael. Every pitch has been inside to Eric Hinske. His first at bat, the first 2 pitches this at bat.
I wonder if it has anything to do with Hinske getting a couple of doubles to the opposite field the other night in the opening game of the series. Just going to try and bust him in, or maybe change up away here. Come back in.
Slider, tried to go the slider down on his back foot, but you know, Kenny, there's those conversations in the clubhouse before ball games. You know, this is what we saw from Hinske the other day. This is how we're going to try and get him out today, and at least get him thinking about something. Looks like a changeup coming here. 3 pitches inside. Another slider. And Yankee Stadium is one of those funny places where you call a ball game a little bit differently because of that short porch in right field. Same thing with Fenway Park in Boston. There's 4 pitches in a row inside. I want to make sure you don't make a mistake in that.
Count is full at 3-2.
This is a 3-2 count that, you know, we usually would see a sinker from Chien-Ming Wang, and he's going to go inside with a fastball, so he's definitely changed his game. That's a count 95% of the time the last couple of years for Chien-Ming Wang has been a sinking fastball down and away.
Along with John Flaherty and Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball on Yes. We thank you for spending part of your Sunday afternoon with us. 2-0 Yankees, top of the 5th. Grounded to Cano. 1 away. You kind of touched on this earlier, John, and I think it bears exploring because
third baseman
There are a lot of talk in spring training about how Chien-Ming Wang has to change what he does. Now, this is a guy who's had more wins than any other pitcher in the last 2 years. 19 wins a year, 38 wins total. And it seems like that talk started because he got roughed up against the Indians. Is it worth it to change what you do because of a bad playoff series and forget about the 19 wins a year?
Not to me. I mean, I think his bread and butter is always that sinking fastball. Saw it right there. But you know what? He got into a bad rut right before the playoffs, and he took it right on through. See the numbers right there. They're not pretty. But I'm all for changing and adding to your repertoire and all that stuff. But you want to make sure that your strength, which is his sinking fastball, is always going to be there. You just don't want to abandon it and change your whole game. You know, it's like a hitter being a pull hitter, and he said, I'm going to force everything to right field. You know, you don't want to get away from your strength as long as he can show the hitters different looks and still have that sinker.
I think there are ways of improving without making major changes. And one way is that you look at maybe the hitters who have hit you well in the past and you try something different against them. Or you try and keep everybody off balance by refining the pitches that you already have, being the slider and the changeup. And he seems to have done that, at least today.
And the 0-2. 1-2.
Pitching coach Dave Island right there, and one of his philosophies, he does not want hitters to feel comfortable when they come up to the plate against his pitchers. And that just means pitching inside off the plate to make them think about something different. And we've seen it from Chien-Ming Wang today. A lot more aggressive inside.
And that's the first base hit against Chien-Ming Wang. Willie Ibar with a single to right.
That pitch was it looked to be up more than the others. And the fans are giving Chien-Ming Wang a round of applause for his efforts to this point, in which he had held the Rays hitless. And we can check out the location of this last pitch, and yeah, that was up in the zone. It's definitely somewhere where he hasn't been very often, if at all, today. I don't think he's thrown a pitch that high in the ball game. And Ibar is that's up at Ibar level.
If he has, it's been in off the plate. That was really the first high fastball he's thrown over the plate.
Flirted with a no-hitter last year against the Mariners, went 7 1/3, ended up giving up 2 hits in that inning. So he gives up a hit here in the 5th. It's always going to be tough for a pitcher like Chien-Ming Wang to pitch a no-hitter, because he does let you put the ball in play, and sometimes the ground ball will find a hole. That time that was a line drive. This ground ball might be too slow to get to. Now it's not going to get any as the ball is dropped by Cano. And Ibar advances to third. We'll see how they score that.
I don't know if Cano was nonchalant or is the throw off from Derek Jeter. We get another look, and maybe it's a little off, but he could have caught it with his glove. You know, maybe if he shifts his feet, you know, all of a sudden he sees the throws up. I don't think there's any reason to try and barehand that throw.
That's a situation right there. It looks like he was trying to do a little bit too much and try and turn a double play on a soft rolling ground ball. Take your out. Like it wasn't a perfect throw, but not that bad.
No, it wasn't. I'm sure he could have reached across his body and caught it with the glove. There's going to be an error there somewhere, and I've got to give it to Cano.
Oh, they have the squeeze on, and the bunt is missed. Posada tags out Ibar. Almost ran him over. I don't know if Bartlett missed the sign, but Ibar was coming, and Bartlett did not lay down the bunt.
You know, this is unusual for a few respects. It didn't seem that Bartlett missed the sign, but it's unusual because it's a 2-0 ball game. You know, I can see a squeeze with the score tied or maybe down by 1, but when you're losing by 2, you know, right now they're just saying we're playing for 1 run, but you're down by 2.
Well, he did square the bunt. Maybe he didn't miss the sign. No, he just missed the ball.
He missed the ball. That's the problem.
Well, you think maybe if Bartlett had terrible career numbers against Wang, he only had 3 at-bats off the guy. I mean, it's not like you're going to take the bat out of his hands.
That goes as a caught stealing.
And there's a strike to Bartlett. Count 0-2. Must be a lonely feeling for a base runner. You're coming home and the bunt's not down.
That's a little bit different managerial move right there.
Especially that this Rays team can hit a little bit. I mean, they don't have to scratch and claw for runs. And as Kenny said, you're down by 2, you're not down by 1. And you caught a break defensively. We still do not know who the error went to. They have not shown it yet on the board. But we know there is an error. It's going to be an E4, which is a good call. I believe that's Cano's second error in 6 games. One, two. Swing and a miss. So Chien-Ming Wang, through no fault of his own, works into trouble and then works out of trouble. And this missed bunt here, missed squeeze, helps him get out of it. We're halfway through. Yankees 2 and the Rays nothing.
With batting practice today presented by Lincoln Mercury, followed by the pregame. Then join Michael Kay, John Flaherty, and me for all the action at 7. Yankees-Rays coverage starts tomorrow at 6, right here on Yes.
Melky Cabrera leads off the bottom of the 5th inning. He singled in the 3rd. Pitch outside. 1-0, 2-5-1 for the Yankees. 0-1-0 for the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, for those that actually keep score at home, Jeter gets an assist on the error by Cano. Runner reaches on the fielder's choice, and Ibar on the unsuccessful squeeze is caught stealing unassisted 2. So Chien-Ming Wang does not get an assist. It's not scored 1-2. It's just unassisted 2. And the 2-1. Foul back. Well, Melky Cabrera had a very good spring, and he's taken this into the season as well. Missed the previous 2 games because he was suspended, but the first 3 games he did well in the outfield, made 2 outstanding catches on opening night. As he goes down swinging, but he is 1 for 2 today. His average over 400. Johnny Damon just stepped out of the box and looked up at the sky because the sun again trying to peek through. But again loses the battle. Not Johnny, the sun. There's a strike.
Johnny's looking for his first hit in this series. As I mentioned in our open today, it seems to me like he's just feeling for the ball. He hasn't really had a good swing at during this series against the Rays. He's 0 for his last 9. And sometimes you get in these little funks where you just, whatever you're looking for, they throw it either something else or somewhere else. Or when you do hit the ball hard, you hit it foul. It seems like there's 10, 11, 13 fielders out on the field.
The toughest thing to do from a hitter's standpoint is slow everything down. It looks like Johnny's a little quick right now.
Shattered bat, blooped into right field. Maybe that's what he needs. Lost a bat, picked up a hit. So now 1 for 10.
You see 100 on that scoreboard. You'll take him any way you can get him. It gives first base coach Tony Pena a little hug. Shatters his bat and gets rewarded with a base hit. But when you're hitting a buck, it doesn't matter how you get them as long as you get your hits.
Yeah, you can always get a new bat, Flash, right?
That's right.
You can't always get hits.
Gave him a hug. He hasn't seen him in so long.
Yeah.
And you really expect Johnny Damon to have kind of a nice bounce back year playing left field, and a lot of joy at first base right there.
Haven't seen you in a while. How's the family?
Count 1-0 to Jeter. Derek is 0 for 2 today. Robbed of an extra base hit by B.J. Upton in the first and then grounded to third in the third. Derek's gotten off to a slow start. 190 on the board.
One thing about Derek Jeter that's been so impressive through the years, he's been able to back up the baseball and hit so many balls to right field. He's 0 for his last 9 as well. It seems like we saw it yesterday with Edwin Jackson and his slider. Derek was out front waving. I'm not used to seeing that from him. Just needs to back the ball up a little bit, let it travel more towards home plate, and this would be an ideal situation for him. I think the Rays are thinking hit and run right here. Derek Jeter is so adept at hitting the ball this way right through that hole.
What it forces the hitter to do, and managers like to do this sometimes with struggling hitters, put the hit and run on, because it forces them to follow the ball and make contact, and it also opens up the infield, opens up some holes with the runner going. And you want the hitter to be ahead on the count when you put the hit and run on.
Grounded through for a base hit. Damon stops at second, first and second with 1 out. Bobby Abreu coming up.
Yeah, one reason you want the hitter to be ahead on the count, because you want the pitcher to be in a situation where he has to throw a strike. Well, not only did Shields throw a strike, it wasn't a particularly good one. You can see that it's towards the middle of the plate and about thigh high, and that's good enough for Derek to pick up a base hit. You saw Johnny Damon pick up a base hit on a broken bat. This is more of the solid variety, but 2 hitters who've been struggling are starting to hit the ball a little better and get on base and creating opportunities for hitters like Abreu and A-Rod behind them.
Abreu's 0 for 2. Pair of strikeouts. And a strike. Shields has thrown 79 pitches here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Off-speed pitch, fouled away. He joined us late. Joe Girardi finally back in the dugout. Had an upper respiratory ailment. Temperature of 103 2 days ago, 101 yesterday. It's finally broken today, and back in the dugout.
Good sign for Bobby Abreu right there. You can see the pitch count, 81 pitches. Bobby's had a tough day, striking out twice against Shields, and he's had a tough time with the changeup. He got a good look at that one down in the dirt and did an offer at it, so it's telling you that he's starting to pick up the ball a little bit better. Riggins going to go out and have a talk with Shields and see how they want to play it here.
Well, this is the first time he's been up with men on base, and hitters who drive in runs and have done it consistently over the years, that's when their concentration levels pick up when you got runners in scoring position. Remember, the pitcher's the one in trouble. And it's like Bobby told Kim the other night when he drove in the winning run. He says, "What, me? No pressure. The pitcher was the one that had the trouble."
1-2. Did he hold up? Yes, he did, said Dana DeMuth at third.
After all these changeup, he tried to pass him with a fastball up in the zone, and Bobby wouldn't bite. And Joe Madden thought he went around. A full hack. That's what he said. It was a full hack.
2-2. That's a full hack. He goes down on strikes on the change. And they're a two-way. Now Shields has to deal with A-Rod.
Came back with it.
Bobby Abreu's had a tough time with that changeup today. Obviously not picking up the spin. Bobby's gotten himself off to a good start this year. Not today, having a tough time with the changeup.
Who's the pitcher you thought had good changeups?
Jamie Moyer.
Yeah. Well,
Tom Glavine. Those guys drove me nuts.
Here's Alex Rodriguez off to another good start. 350, a home run, 4 ribbies. He had a double in the 4th inning. Scored on Matsui's 2-run home run. Those are the only 2 runs in the game. It's 2-0 Yankees, but the Yankees are threatening bottom of the 5th inning. Damon's at second and Jeter is at first. Runners in scoring position last year. A-Rod had a robust .333 average. Now 1-1.
Well, this is why if you're trying to teach a youngster a pitch rather than teach him a breaking ball when they're about 10, 9, 10, teach him how to throw a changeup. Well, Shields has featured at least just about one changeup to every hitter.
I'm sure Kevin Long, the hitting coach with the Yankees, has let the right-handed batters, you know what, he's a right-handed pitcher, but he's going to throw changeup to right-handed batters, which is unusual.
Came in there with the fastball, count 2-1.
It's very, very unusual for a right-handed pitcher to feel comfortable throwing changeups to right-handed batters. Kevin Long has all the numbers and scouting reports. I'm sure he's let Alex and the other right-handers know.
(2-1), and the count levels at 2-2. You can just tell that Shields has an idea out there. And that's why the Rays signed him to that 4-year contract. They think that he could be a solid part of this rotation as they move forward. About to throw his 88th pitch of the day, and Riggins wants to go out and talk. Riggins has a pretty nice presence for a young catcher.
Riggins seems to, you talk about Shields having an idea of what he's doing out on the mound. It looks like Riggins has a nice idea behind the plate. Calling a game, has a nice relationship with his pitching staff. Only his second start came in the first game in the middle of the ball game.
He's had a lot of minor league experience, so I mentioned what he played 467 games in minors. Fastball in or whatever. Yep, that's what it was.
So that releases the runners. 3-2 and 2 outs. Damon and Jeter will go.
And this is a count, a 3-2 count with Shields watching him for the first 4 innings into the 5th right here. He has the confidence to throw his changeup or his slider at this count. So for Alex Rodriguez, probably not going to get a fastball right down the middle, probably sitting off speed.
3-2. And he got off speed, low and away. The bases are loaded.
3-2 changeup.
We'll take a look at the pitch by pitch to Alex Rodriguez. First pitch is a changeup. Next one is down. Alex gets fooled on that. A fastball off the plate inside. A little slider, probably a hanger. Fastball in, and we called it a 3-2 changeup just down. Good eye by Alex Rodriguez. Nice at bat.
Here's Matsui. He's 2 for 2 today. Single to center and a 2-run home run in the fourth. Way out in front, count 0-1.
He had a pretty good swing of that changeup. It's almost as if he sees it better than anybody else on the Yankees.
Well, he hit his home run on the change last time on a 2-1 pitch. That time with the fastball, the count 0-2.
Decky took his shot the first pitch, trying to really bust this one open. Now you go into a little defensive mode. Just try and put the ball in play. Shorten up your swing. Think middle of the field. Hope you get a mistake.
2-to-1 strike to ball ratio, 61 strikes, 30 balls. The 0-2. Strike 3 outside corner. Matsui down looking. Solid pitching by James Shields. Well, the Yankees threaten, don't get it done here in the fifth. No runs, 2 hits, and the bases are left loaded. Let's take this baby to the 6th. 2-0 Yanks. World. 2-0 Yankees lead Tampa Bay. We go to the 6th inning. Tampa Bay's taking the first 2 games of this 4-game set. And it'll be the top of the order for the Rays against Chien-Ming Wang. So Wang, second straight strong start. He won on opening night against Toronto. And now leading 2-0, allowing 1 hit over the first 5 here against Tampa Bay. Wang to Iwamura, and the count 1-0. Line drive caught, broken bat, and the bat speared right between the pitcher's mound and home plate. It was like a lawn dart.
Here's a look at off the end of the bat. Here's one of the sinkers that's moving away, and Iwamura can't get it by Alex Rodriguez at third base. And there's the Alex making that play. He was in on the grass guarding against the bunt.
Here's Carl Crawford. Crawford, just an outstanding athlete. He had a scholarship to go to Nebraska as an option quarterback. He had a scholarship to go to UCLA to play basketball, and boy, did they need him last night. But it looks like he made the right career path.
Hey, Monday night's going to be a heck of a ball game.
Should be fun. Memphis against Kansas for the national championship. And the 0-1 inside.
You talk about Carl Crawford, his athletic ability. The Rays have locked him up to a nice contract. Actually picked up his option the other day. But his makeup in the clubhouse, they've done a nice job of getting the right guys in that clubhouse, the right mix. And Carl Crawford has really turned into a leader on this team.
Reaches out, taps that one to left, and Damon makes the play for the second out.
That is just the second fly ball out in this game against Chien-Ming Wang, and both of them been hit by Crawford. He flew out to Melky Cabrera in the first inning, and now to Johnny Damon. Everything else has either been a strikeout or contained to the infield.
Yeah, 6 strikeouts here into the 6th inning, which you see the pitch count 78. Chien-Ming Wang in good shape, only the 1 hit. A high strikeout total for him so far in this ballgame. Tells you how good his stuff has been.
Carlos Pena struck out twice. Finally gets the ball away and lofts it to left field. Out of play.
It just goes to show you. I mean, spring training, it's for the young guys trying to make an impression. But an established guy like Chien-Ming Wang did not have a good spring, working on his other pitches, and didn't have a good postseason. Now you come into 2008, and your first 2 starts have been quality. You got a win in the opening day start. Looked good here in the 6th inning. Some guys on this team needed to get off to a good start. I feel like Chien-Ming Wang was one of those.
J.P. Howell, we saw warming in the pen. One of the 2 left-handers on the Rays, the 0-1. Count 1-1. Count 2-1. Only runs in this game in the 4th inning. A double by A-Rod and then a home run by Matsui. So it's been Shields and Wong. And the count now 3-1.
Well, this is the best count that Pena's had today. He struck out twice, once swinging and once looking. But now he's ahead on the count.
And there's a base hit to right center.
And that's what happens. Shows the importance for the pitchers to get ahead on counts and for hitters to get ahead in the opposite direction.
Close game, though. You let one runner get on. Well, the next guy up is the tying run. There's B.J. Upton. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Along with John Flaherty and Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yankee Entertainment and Sports Network. We thank you for joining us on a Sunday afternoon. It's 2-0. Yankees lead the Rays, top of the 6th. Count 1-1.
Upton has that unusual way of striding with that front leg. As we can see, you better drink that fast and cool off. Tony Pena trying to keep warm in the Yankee dugout. See the shin guard, but he's got an unusual movement with that front leg. I've never seen any other hitter do this. but it seems to work for him.
Ball got loose behind home plate. Bundled up, but he's got his Yankee uniform over the coat, which is important. And now the Yankees have a fan for life. I think we're past the point now of being amazed at the crowds here at the stadium. Final season in this ballpark, but for over 50,000 people to sit here on a Sunday in this type of weather, and you know the Rays aren't exactly a big draw. It's an amazing crowd today. This place is jammed with a lot of cold people.
Wong has been careful with these last two hitters. They represent the power, the real power on the Rays. But you got another tough hitter coming up in the veteran Cliff Floyd. So he's going to have to make a good pitch here, 3-1, to get Upton out and get himself out of the inning.
And things have been going so well. He gets 2 quick outs and then gets behind in the count back-to-back at bats right here.
And the count full now, 3-2. So Pena will be released from first with 2 outs and a full count.
And this pitch right here will tell you how much confidence he has in his off-speed pitches. A slider, which has been outstanding, a changeup, he's thrown some good ones today. I would fully expect a 2-seamer down on the zone.
Runner goes, 3-2. Grounded softly back to Wong. Nice play. Sets, fires, got him. So Chien-Ming Wang has pitched 6 shutout innings against the Rays. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is 2-0 Yanks. Stadium, Yankees lead the Rays 2-0. That's John Flaherty and Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. Now you might think, wow, Flaherty's really tough. He's the only one without a coat. But the inside story is Flaherty is the only one who didn't bring a coat.
You had to let the cat out of the bag.
That's not a veteran move, John.
Well, I'm a rookie broadcaster.
No, you're no rookie anymore.
No more.
No more. What?
Was it about 6-7 years you've been up here now?
It's the 3rd year, but I don't have enough bank to go buy one of these things that you have. This is nice. Both you and Kenny. Nice.
I'm going to bring you a coat tomorrow. The 0-2 outside. Now, Kenny, you mentioned something at the beginning of the game. This is what stoppers are supposed to do. So this is a nice outing by Chien-Ming Wang. Not that the Yankees are in a losing streak, but you lose 2 in a row. You want to stop it right there.
He's your #1 starter. He's the guy you look to get things going in the other direction or keep things going in the direction when you're winning a ball game. And he's done his job today. He's gotten he's coming up into the 7th inning when he hits the mound again. The Yankees have the lead. No matter how well the other pitcher pitches, you have to outpitch him.
Line drive down the right field line. It is a fair ball. It goes into the corner, and Cano gets himself a double, his second base hit of the afternoon.
Another thing we talked about, Michael, is we'd like to see the offense come to life a little bit. The Yankees now have 8 hits in the game. 6 different Yankees have gotten a hit in this game. So maybe the lineup is starting to produce a little. This is not a bad pitch. That's a changeup down. It's sort of in the middle. But Cano goes down and gets it and drags it into the corner. Boy, just fair. And a 2-base hit. And the Yankees have a leadoff man. Anytime you get an extra base hit to lead off an inning, you should score in that inning.
Well, that'll probably do it for James Shields. Joe Madden out to the mound. He does signal to the bullpen. So he's going to call on the left-hander J.P. Howell, turn Jorge Posada around to the right side. Good job by James Shields. He's given up 2 runs. The runner at second. His responsibility. Come on back.
Ladies and gentlemen.
By Sharp Aquas, the official HD TV of Major League Baseball. Chien-Ming Wang has had an outstanding outing. Some nice defense by the Rays. But the big blow, the only blow here, a 2-run home run by Hideki Matsui. And that's 2 runs in the game. Johnny Damon got an 0 for 9 snide broken. And our very own Josh Isaac turned 48 today. So we're pleased for him. Happy birthday, Josh. He's the guy who puts together all the graphics on the screen. And Josh doesn't look 48, does he?
No, he looks great for his age.
Yeah.
You know what? You notice he didn't put 48 underneath his name there.
But these are the numbers he put together right there. J.P. Howell's last season. 69 hits in 51 innings.
We talked about how young the Rays' rotation is. Well, their relievers, J.P. Howell's the only one under 30 years of age. The starters, there's nobody over 30.
Posada 1 for 8 lifetime against Howell. Cano is in scoring position with nobody out.
So Jorge get a base hit yesterday, hitting right-handed, smoked it right back up the middle.
This is Howell's first appearance of the season. Last man out of the pen.
Well, the Rays have used a lot of their relievers. Yesterday they used 4. The night before they used 3. After a while, we're going to get down to the last guy in the bullpen, the 0-1. 0-2.
We talked about how this is the part of the order where Joe Girardi has 3 consecutive switch hitters, so he doesn't have to worry about any pinch hitters at this point in the game. He's got Posada, Betemit, and Cabrera. All they do is just jump over the other side of the plate And that saves, during the course of close games, that saves managerial moves that might eat up his bench and have him put, an inferior defensive team on the field.
Swing and a miss. He's now 1 for 9 lifetime against Howell. So he goes down on strikes. And although the Yankees have 8 hits today, the one thing that they haven't been doing is getting the hits with runners in scoring position. Strikeout by Matsu at the bases loaded last inning. Now Posada strikes out with a runner at second. And that's been a problem so far in the early season. Scott Doman warming for the Rays. Here is Wilson Betemit. Tries to bunt and bunts foul. Now Betemit's a switch hitter, but he's a much better hitter from the left side.
He was trying to push that by Howell on the right side of the infielder. Iwamura was back guarding Cano, trying to keep him from getting a big lead at second. So there was some room over there on the right side. It still is. Iwamura hasn't moved. He doesn't think he's going to do it again.
The 0-1. Grounded to third. Ibar. And there are 2 outs.
Good off-speed pitches from Howell. It's like a big curveball getting Jorge Posada to swing right over the top and Wilson Betemit to ground out to third. Luxury for Joe Madden having 2 left-handers in his bullpen. Howell making the most of his first opportunity.
Yankees 1 for 7 today with runners in scoring position. And the pitch upstairs. And for the season, they are 6 for 40. That's 150. Foul back. 1-1. Melky singled to left center in the third, then struck out in the fifth. One pitch, just missed inside. 2-1. So far, the Rays relievers in these 3 games have been impressive. They come in, they throw strikes. They've been very, very effective. And the type of young starters that probably aren't going to go that deep into games all the time, so the relievers will be important. Chopped up the middle, Bartlett, and the Yankees 1 for 8 tonight with runners in scoring position, 6 for 41 on the season. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Let's go to the 7th. It's 2-0 Yankees. Yankees Encore later after each game and again the next morning at 9, only on Yes. Chien-Ming Wang has thrown 89 pitches so far. He had 92 on opening night, so he can get to 100. And he deals to Cliff Floyd a strike. We also said at the beginning of the game what they want out of Wang is some length, and they've certainly gotten that. The bullpen has been used quite a bit over the first 5 games. Now, Jabba Chamberlain and Mariano Rivera are rested for today's game, so they'd love to get Wang through the 7th.
Joe Girardi's looking for the same recipe from the opening day win. With Chien-Ming Wang for 7, Jabba Chamberlain in the 8th, and Mariano in the 9th. And this is where we saw yesterday Andy Pettitte, where his pitch count got to where he was a little fatigued, 70-75, which was his limit. Chien-Ming Wang now at his limit, his highest limit for the season.
Mariano bundled up against the cold. Now there is a heated area out there. That's where you sit, the ones under the bleachers. But if you're going to sit close to the fence, you're out there with the elements. So Mariano deciding to brave the elements, sit over the 399-foot side. 3-1 count on Floyd. Line drive over the head of Cano and into right field for a base hit for Floyd.
It's a base hit for Cliff Floyd, but we've seen 3 consecutive at-bats for Chien-Ming Wang. 2 last inning, and here the first at-bat to start the 7th. He's been behind 3-1 on all those at-bats, and that's something that's going to raise the eyebrow of Joe Girardi. Might be getting a little tired, leaving some balls up, not commanding the strike zone like we're used to as Jabba Chamberlain's getting loose.
Yeah, we're trying to. Dave Island comes out to the mound to slow things down here to give the bullpen a little bit chance to warm up.
Well, the Rays have 3 hits. 1 by Willie Ibar, 1 by Pena, and 1 by Floyd. Those hits in the 5th, 6th, and 7th inning. So he was pitching a no-hitter through 4 1/3 before Ibar's clean single to right. And he's got 94 pitches, which is 2 more than he threw last time out. And although you can progress, obviously there will be some fatigue that starts to set in at that point. Now Kyle Farnsworth joins Chamberlain in the bullpen. You bring in Chamberlain now, you're pretty much assuring that you're going to pitch him 2 innings. So we'll see how they play this with Farnsworth warming up alongside of Chamberlain. Here's Hinske, walk and a ground ball to second. And a strike.
So used to seeing double plays induced by Chien-Ming Wang. We haven't seen any of those today. It'd be a perfect spot to get the first one with Eric Hinske. Runs decent for a big man.
It's hard to outrun those 2 hoppers directly at a shortstop or a second baseman when you're trying to avoid the double play.
Line drive, a base hit to right field. Cutting over is Abreu. Nice play to cut the ball off and hold him to a single as Floyd moves to 3rd.
That was a nice play because what it does, you know, the runner at first is the important runner, and it still keeps the double play in order here with Ibar coming to the plate. But this pitch appears to be up. Yep, it is. And every time the Chien-Ming Wang's been up today, and it hasn't been very often, the ball's been hit hard. And Hinske has good numbers against him to begin with. So there's the importance of Bobby Abreu getting this ball back in quickly, holding Hinske at first base, keeping the tying run out of scoring position, also keeping the double play in order.
Joe Girardi is going to take Chien-Ming Wang out of the game. Now let's see which reliever he goes to. Crowd's going to give Wang a nice hand. He's allowed 4 hits. He has not allowed a run as of this point, and he is leading 2-0. So the Yankee manager takes the ball from his starter, signals to the bullpen, and listen to the hand for Wang. not a lot of run, but the 2 runners on base are his responsibility. Walked 2, struck out 6. He threw 96 pitches. But now a very, very important relief appearance by Jabba Chamberlain. So Joe Girardi wants to stop the bleeding right here, really before it becomes any bleeding. And you see what Chamberlain did in his 24 innings last year, well documented. He's already appeared in 2 games this year with a win. And now he's got to face Willie Ibar with runners on first and third and nobody out. A little strange to bring in Chamberlain in the 7th because you are almost committing to using him for 2 innings, and you kind of scratch your head and go, well, why was Farnsworth warming up at all? You know, under what circumstance would you bring him in, except maybe if Hinske hit a home run and the game was tied?
Well, Farnsworth came in the other night for the first time in a very long time with runners on base. Usually he starts an inning. And the other night when he came in, the runners on base scored. So now with Chamberlain coming in, you know, you're thinking more of the strikeout, maybe stalling the inning right here. The game can be saved during different innings. And this is a time where Joe Girardi feels the game needs saving the most, so he goes to his best setup guy, that's Jabba Chamberlain.
Farnsworth had gone 79 appearances without inheriting a runner before Friday night, so Joe Torre always brought him in at the beginning of an inning. Here is Ibar. And there's a breaking ball strike.
Big first pitch curveball. We've heard so much about Jabba Chamberlain. Has all 4. Last year we saw mostly fastball slider, but he drops a first pitch curveball to get ahead in the count right there.
And there's a strike, 97 miles an hour. That's still early in his career, but in his career, runners in scoring position, opponents are 0 for 17 against Chamberlain.
That was on the corner at the knees.
And the 0-2. Could not hold up. Slider diving down and in, so he strikes out Ibar. 1 away.
Big curveball first pitch, and then he strikes him out with a tight slider in on the hands, and Ibar can't hold up. 3 pitches, gets the first big out here in the 7th inning. I start thinking with Joe Girardi a little bit with how far he's going to go with Jabba Chamberlain, obviously depending on how he does, but 3 lefties in a row, Iwamura, Crawford, and Pena, you'd have to believe Billy Traber would get his arm loose in the bullpen at some point for the 8th inning.
Yankees would love to get the double play right here. And the pitch to Riggins. 97 mile an hour fastball. This is harder than Chamberlain has thrown in the previous 2 outings. Floyd at third, Hinske at first. Soft throw to first. And the 1-0. 1-1.
Now, so far, we're seeing the most heat we've seen in the ballpark all day.
Jabba picked up the win on Thursday. Pitched on opening night. Had Wednesday off. Had Friday off. And the 1-1. Flew right by him. 97 miles an hour.
You could hear the pop of the glove.
Does he go slider? Does he go fastball? Does he bounce a curve? Let's watch. He went fastball. 99 miles an hour.
So a job in spring training, pitching about 93, 94. You said at the best velocity we've seen so far, but he has Riggins totally set up right now for that slider for another big strikeout. If he can locate it down and away. But when you're throwing that hard and feeling that good about your fastball, you might want to stick with it.
Line drive, caught by Cano, throw to first, double play! Hensky doubled up at first. So Riggins turned one around, thought he had an RBI single, but a nice play by Cano, and then a strong throw to Bettamy, who made a great scoop on the backhand to end the inning. Jabba likes what he sees. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead 2-0, but stay where you are as we honor America here at Yankee Stadium by listening to God Bless America.
As we remember the service men and women who are stationed around the globe, and especially remember those who have lost their lives defending our freedom and our way of life. Now, please join Kate Smith as she sings God Bless America.
Yankees. 8 pitches Jabba Chamberlain worked out of that jam, although helped by very good defense by Cano and Bettamy. We go to the bottom of the 7th. J.P. Howell still in there. And there's a strike. Now Riggins hit that ball hard. Fastball, John?
It was a fastball. Yeah, down and away. Nice job by Riggins to stay on that. Job obviously has that fastball going today, and he felt like he could sneak it by him. When you throw that hard, you get a hitter sped up for anything. You don't even have to throw your good slider. You probably would have gotten away with it.
Soft ground ball is short. Bartlett got him.
Oh, that was a very nice play by Bartlett. Had to charge, throw on the run, come up with a short hop. Difficult play for the shortstop. Had a speedy runner in Johnny Damon going down the line. Circles the ball, gets in front of it, comes up with a short hop, quickly gets rid of it, and gets him by about a step. You can see that Bartlett is an upgrade on shortstops they've had in the past. That's the reason why he was included in the deal from the Minnesota Twins.
That's the deal that sent Delman Young to Minnesota. And Bartlett replaces Brendan Harris at short. Here's Derek Jeter. He's 1 for 3. Count 1-0. Count 2-0. Two 8-1. Yankees 0-4-0 for the Rays. Java with the sweatshirt quickly on, thanking Cano. And Java will pitch the 8th inning. There is nobody warming in the Yankee bullpen. High fly ball down the right field line. Giving chase is Hinsky on the run. 2 outs. Paul O'Neill says that's one of the toughest right fields to play because there's so little space between the foul line and that restraining wall. And if you're running hard, you almost have to resign yourself to hitting into the wall.
Sometimes wind currents too here at the stadium. You get towards the corner and all of a sudden the ball starts moving back towards right center field. Hinsky, you got to give him credit. I mean, he started out as a third baseman. The Blue Jays then moved him to first, and then went to the outfield. He can play left, right. He can play either corner position. He's turned himself into a valuable utility player.
Bobby Abreu scoops one to right, and Hinsky there. So J.P. Howell's done a nice job. He's faced 6 Yankees, 6 up and 6 down. We move this game to the 8th inning. It's a good one. Yankees lead the Rays 2-0 at the stadium. 58772. For more information, visit ChevyOffers.com. You can vote right up until the end of the game. Vote now, make your voice heard. Today's candidates are number 1, Chin-Ming Wang, number 2, Hideki Matsui, number 3, Alex Rodriguez, and number 4, Robinson Cano. And standard text messaging rates apply. Now, Jason Bartlett will lead off here in the 8th inning. It's Bartlett, Iwamura, and Crawford. Foul back on the check swing. You know, the ultimate plan of the Yankees have made it very clear that Jabba Chamberlain is going to eventually move into the starting rotation. But if he continues to be the weapon that he is and was last year, it's going to be awfully hard to dislodge him out of this spot. It's an important spot. Fly ball left field. Damon makes the play, 1 away.
And I think from the whole psyche of a ball club, Michael, if you have those last 6 outs, and in this case he comes in the 7th inning and gets 3 outs, gets 1 here in the 8th. If you can shorten the ball game, make Joe Girardi's job easier, and the ball club offensively, you go out there, you get a good start, get a lead, and you feel good about the end of the game.
But isn't there such a thing as shortening the ball game from the beginning of it? You understand what I mean? Your starting pitchers can shut them down too. But I can see your point, because at this point of the season, with the Yankees win today, Jabba Chamberlain and Mariano Rivera have been involved in all 3 victories. And that's a nice security blanket at the end of the game. But if the starters do the job, they're their own security blankets to begin the game itself. But like Chin-Ming Wang was today. We were looking for good things from him, and he got the job done. Yeah,
my point would be, though, we've seen Jabba do this in the 8th inning.
Okay.
And he's proved himself in this role. We haven't seen him as a starting pitcher. Yeah. And you know what? You see his stuff in the 8th inning. It's 99, 98 miles an hour. Will he do that as a starter? That's, remained to be seen.
Throughout the whole game.
Exactly. Yeah. And we've also seen a lot of emotion. Can he sustain that through 6, 7 innings in a start? These are all things that, it's fun to talk about, but when you see a guy dominate the 8th inning of a ball game for the New York Yankees in this building, boy, that's tough to move him out of that spot for me.
Yeah, I felt that at the beginning of the year that this is his best spot as well. But I can see the Yankees thinking eventually, if they can get somebody to do his job, maybe not quite effectively, you can have yourself double the sword there, double-edged sword.
2 away. Now, gutty move by Girardi also showed you what he's thinking, how important this game is, that he brings in Jabba in the 7th inning.
He does not want to waste the effort of Chin-Ming Wang. The man pitched well enough to get himself a win. He leaves on the winning side, and you don't want anything to happen to that lead.
He took a gamble, and it's worked out with Jabba getting the 3 outs in the 7th. If he would have struggled, you would have had somebody come in big inning in the 8th. He hasn't had to worry about it.
And a quick bow on Wang. Did you both like the way he pitched?
Oh.
You think he was better than he was opening day?
I think he was. I think that, first of all, he had all of his pitches working today. His changeup was good. His slider was good when he used it. And he only made a couple of bad pitches with some elevated pitches.
Yeah, later in the game when he got a little fatigued.
There's a ground ball to Cano. And Jabba Chamberlain does his job. He threw 8 pitches in the 7th. He threw 8 pitches in the 8th. So that's a 16 total. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 2-0 Yankees. 6 outs as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Dave Ireland talking it over with his pitcher. So good job by Chamberlain, and Mariano Rivera will likely pitch the 9th. Howell still in there, deals to Alex Rodriguez and a strike. Alex today grounded to short, doubled, came around to score on Matsui's home run, then walked in the 5th. That's the BB, base on balls. Count 1-1.
Meanwhile, Howell has done a nice job for the Rays coming in and shutting the Yankees down for a few innings.
First appearance of the year.
Taking Jim Hickey a couple of years. He's a good pitching coach. He was the pitching coach with the Astros, and then moved over here, and completely different animal. You don't have Roy Oswalt, but he's really worked with these young pitchers.
You know, it was last year and the year before that we saw him quite a bit during. I think a lot of trips for the mound, but I think we've seen him once this series.
Well, look at the pitchers that he had on his staff one year in the rotation with the Astros: Andy Pettitte, Roger Clemens, and Roy Oswalt.
He probably made one trip a series when those guys are pitching. There's Jim Hickey.
Was one of his former pitchers. Andy pitched yesterday. Didn't pitch great. Kind of ran out of gas. Wasn't awful, but he didn't have his cutter working. Didn't really have much command. Hadn't pitched much since spring training, but he feels okay today, and that was really an important thing they were looking for.
Well, it's funny reading the papers today. Andy Pettitte was killing himself, saying he didn't have anything. He doesn't know how Jorge Posada did it, calling pitches. Watching up here, I didn't think he was all that bad. I mean, he got a little fatigued late in the ball game and gave up the home run. All in all, I thought a decent performance.
High drive, left field. Hinsky's there. You know, it's always been a real fait accompli. People made out to be that this was Andy Pettitte's last year. And I was talking to him the other day, and I said, isn't there some kind of draw for you to pitch in the new ballpark? And he said, you know what? I got to be honest. I thought this was going to be it. He said, but if my elbow doesn't go on me, he said, and I talk it over with my wife, he goes, I really would like to pitch in that new ballpark next year. He said, but we'll see how this season goes before I even think about that. But last year he had no problems with his elbow at all. And that's always a concern with Andy.
Yeah, talking over with his family, talking over with his wife, and as all married men know, you got to live by the credo: a happy wife is a happy life, right, Flash?
That's exactly right.
Notice I stay silent on that one.
Would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? What
Matsui fights it off and fouls it off. Matsui, the Yankee offense today. They have 8 hits, but his home run in the 4th inning, a 2-run shot, that's it on the runs. And the 0-2. Another base hit for Matsui. So Girardi said it in his pregame press conference. He was asked why Matsui to the number 5 spot. He said, I like the way he swings the bat. He's the guy who should move up in the lineup.
And he goes down and gets his curveball, and that ball is going to bounce, it looks like, if Hideki doesn't make contact. He keeps his bat through the zone. You get a good look at it right here. Throw your bat right back at the pitcher, stay through the zone, and just serves it into right field. 3rd hit for Hideki Matsui today in the number 5 spot.
Hideki recently got married in spring training.
Very secretive. All we've seen is a sketch of his wife. Grounded to 3rd. Let's see if they can turn 2. There's one on to 1st. Nice scoop, but not in time.
Well, Ibar gets rid of it in good shape. To Iwamura, the turn, he just spikes it right down in the ground and loses a little bit of steam on the throw. Pena, nice play, scooping it out of there. Ball wasn't hit real hard, so Robinson Cano had a chance to get down the line. Take a look, see how he gets out of the box. Gets out in pretty good shape. He's able to beat it out by a couple of steps.
Well, that scoop by Pena, the first two series, we've seen two outstanding first basemen on the other team. Lyle Overbay and Carlos Pena, both of them are just Gold Glove caliber. Here's Posada 0 for 3 this afternoon. Count 1-0. Posada flied to center, that's in the second, that's the F8. Flied to right, the F9 in the fourth, and then a strikeout, which is what the K represents.
And that strikeout was against Howell. He threw Jorge some really good curveballs.
And Jorge's 1 for 9 lifetime against Howell. And the count now 1-2. The 1-2 is not made. First to throw to first. Yankees looking to even up their record at 3-3. The Rays come into this game at 3-1. Joe Madden has a splitting head. No, is that Joe? Who is that?
Like Garza.
He has a headache. There's Joe Madden. Tomorrow's starters, the series finale. It's a wraparound series, 4 games. Mike Messina against Jason Hamill. Batting practice show at 6. Pre-game 6:30. First pitch 7:07. The 1-2. He struck him out. That's some job by J.P. Howell. 3 shutout innings, and he allowed just 1 hit. No runs a hit. 1 man left. The last lick's coming up for the Rays. They'll do it against Mariano Rivera. the final out. Keep it on yes for the Nissan postgame. Join Bob Lorenz in the studio for detailed analysis of this game and highlights from around the league. Plus, Kimberly Jones has the interviews from the clubhouse. It's the Nissan postgame, and it's only on yes. Well, to the strains of Enter Sandman, Mariano Rivera comes into the game. He'll try to close this out. Yankees lead 2-0, 2-9-1, leading 0-4-0. Everybody wants to record Mariano on the mound. The Rays would probably wish that he wasn't there, which means he would be trailing. This will be his third game. He's picked up 2 saves already. Didn't do that till the beginning of May of last year. And he's been Mariano Rivera. And he'll face the heart of the order, Pena, Upton, and Floyd. So a crowd of 51,279 here at Yankee Stadium. Bundled up against the weather, looking for the Yankees to snap a 2-game losing streak. They're going to have to tell this kid, you know, you saw Mariano Rivera pitch. I don't remember. Well, you were there. You were wearing a snorkel coat. Pena jumps on the first pitch and fouls it away. Top of the 9th inning. Yankees lead 2-0. Chien-Ming Wang hit 6+. Turned over the game to Jabba Chamberlain, who got 6 outs. And now Mariano Rivera. Count 1-1.
Same old story for Carlos Pena. The Yankee pitchers, Yankee catchers have been pounding him inside. No difference from Mariano Rivera. First 2 pitches inside. No real secret to what Mariano's going to do. He's going to throw the cutter. It's just a matter of location, in or out.
Yeah, for left-handed hitters, he is Mr. Inside.
Pena 0-for-4 lifetime against Rivera.
Mariano, he's always looking for those opportunities to freeze the left-handers on the outside corner, and you would think Pena has seen so many pitches inside. This ball game, yesterday's ball game, this might be an opportunity to freeze him away.
One-two, broken bat, popped up. And A-Rod in front of Jeter makes the play. And they can laugh about it because the play was made.
Wasn't it a couple years ago that they bumped together and one fell in? Well, that could have been a costly collision.
So 1 away, and that'll bring up B.J. Upton. Upton 0-for-2 with a walk. Buzzed the fastball inside, 0-1. Upton didn't like the call. Thought it was too far inside. Tells Ted Barrett that. Driven the other way down the right field line. It is a foul ball. Not much room down there, but good catch by a fan reaching over.
See that ball twisting off the end of the bat. Oh, nice play by a fan.
The 0-2. He struck him out. The Rays down to their final out.
Well, you want to go back to last year. The Rays had won 3 games in a row at Yankee Stadium, including this series. They had never won 4 in a row. As B.J. Upton. There's that fancy footwork with that left foot, but not quick enough with the swing. And he's headed back to the dugout.
Here's Cliff Floyd. Floyd's 1 for 3. Grounded to first, grounded to second, single to right. Cutter inside, 1-0. There's a strike. A win would make Girardi feel a lot better. Put some more color in his cheeks. One. And now the Rays down to their final strike. Just stayed alive. He has 1 double in his career against Mariano, 1 for 5. Now, what was that conversation?
It looked like Jorge Posada got a foul tip off maybe his foot or his leg, so he's going out there to give himself a little bit of time to regroup. Got a sore shoulder. Now he's probably going to have a sore foot. We'll take a look at it right here. See if we can take a look where this foul ball gets him. Yeah, right off the toe. Sure, that feels good on a nice cold day here at Yankee Stadium. Feel a lot better if you get the win.
1-2 count. He got him. Yankees win 2-0. So Rivera works a 1-2-3 ninth. Plenty of reasons for him to smile. And Floyd chases a high fastball, so Rivera picks up his 3rd save. He didn't do that until May 3rd of last year, and the captain of the team likes the result of this one. And the Yankees win this one 2-0. No, the Yankees didn't win their 3rd game, scoring 3 runs or less until July 17th of last year. All 3 of their wins have been of that variety at this point. There's the offense today, a 2-run home run off the bat of Hideki Matsui, who had 3 hits. So the Yankees win this one 2-0. They even their record at 3-3. Mariano has saved all 3 games. Jabba Chamberlain has pitched in all 3 wins, picking up a win in 1 of the 3. So all in all, a nice Sunday here in the Bronx. Rivera is all smiles as he has come out of the gate pitching very, very well for the New York Yankees. And a crowd of 51,279 will go home happy.